Lori Loughlin, the actress who is best known professionally for her time on Full House, is almost more so now known for her time spent in jail after she was exposed for cheating her daughter's way into a prestigious college. She spent 2 months in prison for her crime, and her husband spent 5 months. They have done it by paying off a rowing coach and pretending that their daughter was being admitted to the school through athletics because her grades were so poor. And now, after being shamed out of Hollywood, Lori is making her way back with a When Calls the Heart spinoff called When Hope Calls. Seems she may have gotten work again, but her reputation in the eyes of her audience may be forever tarnished. Today we're covering Lori Loughlin and her college admissions scandal. Tomorrow though, you decide. Let us know in the comments down below who you think we should cover on the next episode of Where Are They Now? And while you're there, it would be much appreciated if you could like this video so we know to keep making more like it. Now let's get into it. Lori Loughlin was born and raised in New York and started acting at a really young age. At 11 years old, she was a print model, and at 15, she was cast in her first role in a soap opera called The Edge of Night, where she plays a young dancer. For the next few years, she would continue to get roles in more than a dozen feature films and television shows. By 1988, she was cast in the ABC sitcom Full House as Aunt Becky, Danny Tanner's co-host. She was initially supposed to only be in 6 episodes, but the audience responded so well to her character that she became a series regular. After Full House had ended, she would be in another few series. She basically mainly stuck to sitcoms and television programs. She was also on 90210 in the first 3 seasons, but honestly, she was at her prime career-wise with Full House. Also notably, she was in When Calls the Heart. It's like a Hallmark cheesy show, and she would be fired from that in 2019 amid the scandal that we'll get into in a short bit. As for her personal life, she was married to an investment banker in 1989, but the two would divorce in 1996. Only 1 year later, Lori eloped with the fashion designer for the brand Mossimo Giannulli. They had met when Lori was still married to her ex-husband, so not sure if that had anything to do with why they got divorced, but there was definitely an overlap there to take note of. Lori and Mossimo had 2 daughters, one of which is Olivia Jade. Olivia Jade is a social media influencer who posts like beauty stuff. She's got 1.3 million followers on Instagram. Now that the preamble is over, we can get into what exactly the college admissions scandal was. In 2019, Lori and her husband were exposed for being among 50 individuals charged by the FBI for fraud and bribery offenses in a nationwide college entrance exam cheating scandal. The court alleged that the couple had paid $500,000 to William Singer, the orchestrator of the operation. He would make it seem to the University of Southern California that their 2 daughters would join the women's rowing team, although neither had trained in the sport or had plans to do so. The pictures that the daughters took to prove that they were on the rowing team is kind of funny. I mean, they look so stiff on the rowing machine that they were ordered to pose for. And William had doctored photos of the girls in the rowing competition that looked so fake, it almost seems like an open secret kind of thing if we're being honest, until the feds got to the case. About the admission scandal itself, it's actually much deeper than Lori's role in it. William Singer gathered more than $25 million from college applicants between the years 2011 and 2018. He used some of the money to fraudulently raise entrance exam test scores and bribe college officials. The FBI had basically been tracking him and gathering proof that he had done this for more than 750 families over the years. While the parents got off with a lesser sentence, Singer faces up to 65 years in prison and a fine of $1.25 million. That being said, Singer's not in jail yet. Initially, how the FBI got wind of the whole conspiracy was one parent had a sour business dealing with him and so turned into an informant. When the FBI busted him, he decided to rat on all of his customers over the years. And because he's done so, he's very slowly releasing the names of everyone involved. Only a handful of cases have been brought to justice over the hundreds involved, and Singer himself won't face jail time until he's done cooperating with the feds. And who knows when that will be. While this doesn't have much to do with Lori, I just thought that it was insane that this dude is basically getting the FBI to eat out of the palm of his hand, despite being a proven criminal. Anyway, back to Lori and Mossimo. Obviously, once they were taken to court, Lori was fired from When Calls the Heart, and the show continued on without her character in it. Initially, they pleaded not guilty, but there must have been too much concrete evidence against them because they very quickly switched to pleading guilty. Lori served 2 months in Fancy Rich People prison and was released in late December 2020. Mossimo reported to prison a few days before Lori was released, but he was also released in April 2, 2021 to home confinement before completing his sentence April 16th. Although Lori and Mossimo are out of prison, Lori is on a 2-year supervised release that won't end till December of this year. And now that takes us to present day. Lori's daughter, Olivia Jade, was on Red Table Talk hosted by Jada Pinkett Smith to speak about the scandal, and basically she said nothing. She spoke about how she had privilege and she didn't realize that it would be harmful to cheat her way into school, which is total bull if you ask me. We all know you have privilege. You don't seem more woke or whatever just because you recognize it. Maybe get into college through hard work like every other kid in the US. Your schooling is already paid for by your rich parents, so it's just up to you to not be lazy and study. Olivia Jade stated, quote, "I realized at the time that that was privilege. I didn't put those two together. I just thought, well, this is what everybody does. My parents worked really hard and I don't understand, but that's not how it should be." Does your brain also hurt after that sentence? Like, where is the logic there? Oh, my parents worked hard, so it's fine. But girl, like, it's your college admission, not theirs. You didn't work hard for any of it. And now Lori has returned to television and reprising her role in the spinoff of When Calls the Heart, the very show she was fired from back in 2019. The show is called When Hope Calls, and its last episode was a Christmas special. Not sure if they're on hiatus or whatnot, but there was an article I read that they haven't even filmed the rest of the season they're in the middle of. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be canceled or not sometime soon. Whatever. One YouTube comment on a video reporting her returning to television summed it up quite nicely with the statement, quote, "Must be nice to break the law, never really accept responsibility for your actions, and pick up right where you left off. Hallmark should be ashamed of themselves." And it seems like that sentiment is a popular one. A lot of people are shocked as to why Lori and all the other high-profile people charged in the scandal can just get off scot-free. Olivia Jade is still producing content too. It just reeks of privilege and like no one even learned their lesson. If anything, I think Olivia Jade has more publicity now after the scandal than she ever did before. It's worked out for them. I guess it's like whatever though. Lori has always been kind of a C-tier celebrity whose most newsworthy moment was going to jail, and her career is pretty much only going to remain in Hallmark. She's a mainstay of daytime television, programs only grandmas and sick kids stuck in bed watch because there's nothing interesting on Teletoon. Anyway, that's all I've got for today's episode. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this whole scandal basically being swept under the rug on all fronts. And please subscribe to this channel, it'd make me happy. I've been your host, Sierra. See you guys next time.